why he's not stupid enough to write us off.
Good evening, everyone, and Forest family faithful, and the legends on the show with us tonight. How you doing, everyone? Hope everyone's well this evening. We couldn't wait to get another show out, so me and Joe were just trying to find the time to be able to get one in, and we wanted to have a couple of special guests who we've been trying to get on for a little while. So first, I'm going to reintroduce myself. I'm Ez. I'm a huge Forest fan. I was lucky enough to be at the game on the weekend, and we set up this channel to give a voice to anybody who doesn't get to games, who wants to speak up and give their opinions, and it's open to everybody who follows Garibaldi. And hopefully you guys have been enjoying the channel, and please drop your comments and questions in for the guests on today's show, and I'll pass you on to Joe and let him introduce himself and then the rest of the panel.
Yeah, evening everybody. Evening guys that are joining us today. It's very good to have you both on. Always good to talk to you, Megaphone Man, and good to have Max on here for the first time. So thank you very much for joining us. I was lucky enough to find a pub where I could find and watch the game. Wasn't able to get there this week, but it was great to get to watch it. And you all saw my reaction straight after the game. I slept on it. Thoughts are still pretty much all valid from what I had then. Got a couple of extra points that we're going to get to talk about today. So yeah, we'll now move on to our two guests that we've got as.
Yep. So if first off, Lee, go ahead. Lee, the Megaphone Man, go ahead. Introduce yourself to anybody who doesn't know you, and yeah, go ahead, mate.
Yeah, I'm Megaphone Man. I go to Forest. I take my megaphone with me. I cheer the lads on and just cause trouble, really. No, I don't cause trouble. I just have a laugh and a bit of fun with it. That's all I do. Yeah, that's my new account down there because my Twitter one got banned because I got involved in politics. Bad move. Don't bother with politics on Twitter. But no, that's my new account. So yeah, I just passionate fan. What can I say?
Fantastic. And last but not least, Mr. Max Goodwin. Been a keen follower of your channel for a while now, my friend, and your content's amazing and it's just getting better and better. I'm really glad to have you on the show. But yeah, please introduce yourself to anybody who doesn't know who you are, and plug your channel a bit, mate. Go ahead.
Oh, well, I feel very flattered by what Ez has said there. But yeah, my name's Max. I do YouTube content on Forest, mainly talking about match previews, tactics, analytics, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, that's basically what I do at the moment. And yeah, short and sweet.
No, the channel's growing really well. I'll be honest, when I started following you, you were in just over 180, I think, and you're well over 1,000 now, mate. So it's really been some great growth, rapid growth, and the content's been there. Honestly, I've been following you since pretty much halfway through last season, and when you started doing your match previews and things like that, it was really great content, and I really enjoyed following it. And this season, it's just got better and better, especially with your analysis on the players that we've been linked with, and I plagiarize your material all the time on this show. So
I'm genuinely flattered. Thank you.
No, absolutely, mate. No, really good content and really good analysis, and you know, for somebody of your age to be that heavily involved in it and be able to bring out content that good, it's only going to get better and better. So I'm really 100% behind you, mate, and I'm sure channel's going to grow even more. So yeah, again, really proud to have you on. But so Joe, do you like as you said, you slept on it. Your feelings are still the same, but yeah, a few more points from the weekend's game if you want to pop yours in first, mate.
Yeah, so I think overall I still feel mostly the same about it. A couple of maybe different points now that I've had a chance to sleep off those beers that I had celebrating the win. Maybe it definitely wasn't a pass from Jesse Lingard like I was raving on about, thinking he was the next Messiah, picking that out. He might have just completely fluffed that shot and it turned into a magical pass. Who knows? But I think overall it was still a great performance from the team. Yes, we did ride our luck overall in the game, but as we said when we were playing in the playoffs in both of those games, as Steve Cooper said, you're going to need a bit of luck from time to time to be able to carry you through some of these games. And I think that's exactly what we've got. And the overall result in the end, I still stand by the fact it wasn't undeserved, that we got at least the point, which was easily there for us to have. And yeah, the look and the great performance between the sticks from Dean Henderson and the guys at the back three helped to secure those 3 points. So overall, very happy with the game, and now bring on Everton away. I think we're in for a good couple of games if we can keep this run of form up.
Yeah, 100% agree with you. And I don't think, like yourself, having watched the highlights back and watched the full match replay back, but the way I felt about the performance at the time, yeah, nothing's changed from that point of view. There's a couple of things that I was a little bit, and I'm still unsure about. And touching on what Lee said, this might get into politics. So if it is a political question, then we'll leave it. But I was in the Brian Clough stand, so I was part of that display that the Garibaldi Red put up. And I was kind of surprised that neither did Match of the Day show it, and it wasn't shown on the Sky match as well. So if anybody in the comments knows why that might be, but if it gets too political, we'll leave it. But there must be a reason why that wasn't shown, because that, like I say, not because I was part of it, but you know, I would have liked to know why it wasn't shown, because it was a huge display, and there was a reason for it being set up that way. So that's the only other thing. But yeah, going back over the whole match, we did definitely ride our luck. But my only concern is that we haven't used up all our luck for a little while, you know, and that's my only concern about it. But yeah, in terms of performance, we deserved it. Overall, we did get the luck, but we deserved to get something out of that game. You know, we made our own luck in that game, and I felt there wasn't a performance less than 7 out of 10 on the day, and hopefully we continue like that. But the best thing about it, and there's something like James Swain on the day when we had our last show mentioned, was just the change from 1 week to the next was like night and day, you know. So whatever Cooper and his backroom team have been training, whatever happened on the training field in that last week, it came to fruition, you know, and that was the best thing about it, you know. Yeah, they took a knock. That first game was a real eye opener, but they learned quite a lot of lessons, and they picked up quickly from there. And to watch the analysis back on Match of the Day 2, and how they were complementing our two midfielders, Mangala and O'Brien, was brilliant to hear, you know. So it's fantastic, onwards and upwards. But yeah, Lee, give us your overall reaction on the game. You were there on the day. Yeah. How did you feel, and how do you feel now, a couple of days after?
I haven't changed. I've watched it back. I've analysed it, as well as going to the game. I watched Match of the Day 2. I've then watched the whole game again as well. Yeah, we rode our luck. We did. But like you say, you make your own luck, and sometimes you need the rub of the green, don't you? You know, them having a goal chalked off wasn't lucky. That was their own fault. The only people they have to blame is themselves. Everyone's saying, oh, Antonio didn't change direction. But when you slow it down, he did. And Mangala was actually trying to run. And he obviously cleaned him out. Something that you see in WWE. You know what I mean? He just flattened him. But no, to be honest, we did deserve it. Because each to a man, they defended as a team. We attacked as a team, defended as a team. When one missed the tackle, someone else was in there to tackle and win the ball. Yeah, we did ride our luck. But, you know, it's football. It's going to happen. We're going to have times where we play well and we batter aside, but we lose. It happens. And, you know, it's not an issue for me. They can say what they want. I'm happy. We won. We got 3 points. I don't really care. We move on now. You know, I look back at the game. I still enjoy it. But on to the next one, to Everton on the Saturday, you know.
Absolutely. And that's 100%. I mean, just have to look back at the Huddersfield game at home last season, you know. I've never seen a more one-sided game, which we ended up losing 1-0, you know.
We had 20 shots in that game, and we had 20-odd shots in that game. I think they had like 1 or 2 on target and scored. Exactly. Sometimes it's the way it is in football, but you can't moan about it. You take it on the chin, don't you, and you move on. So they're still crying about it, the West Ham fans. I've watched vlogs and everything. It's hilarious. Oh, it's hilarious.
Yeah, I think we had it coming, but yeah, it couldn't have happened much better. The only way it could have been any better is if Lings had scored the goal. But yeah, I mean, they took the money at the wrong player for a start. I mean, I'm sure
Nico Williams
appreciated it, but I don't think
what's going on here. But the great thing is, and Joe, and even Max, it's the fact we've got more quality to come. That they've only had 2 games together. Some of our players are injured, and we've got more quality to come in. So just wait till they've had a month or 2 together. Everyone's in. The sky's the limit within reason, isn't it?
It's exciting to think about it, isn't it? Yeah, definitely. Matt, give us your view on the game. How did you watch the game, or how did you follow the game, and what impressed you most about the performance?
Obviously, great to get 3 points on the board. First home game of the season. I was in the pub watching it in Manchester, so wasn't there unfortunately. But you could feel it. Like even though I was like 100 odd miles away, you could just feel the atmosphere. And I think that's the big thing. Like the home games we've got this season, like most of the teams in the league, I don't think we could turn over away from home. But at home, we could probably get like 50, like probably 15 of the teams we could probably be at home this season pretty easily. Just with the atmosphere. Like it's a cliche, but like having the 12th man there is so important. I thought the midfield was exceptional, and I was really worried because Mangala and O'Brien, they ain't the biggest guys in the world, being on their own in there alongside Rice and Souček, with Fornals dropping in there as well. But they did such a good job, positionally amazing. We were defending so deep and so compact that there just wasn't any space for them to create like really good chances. Like the free kick that they had that came off the post, it was fairly far out. The Fornals shot was outside the box that came off the post. Like in general, the chances that they made, they didn't get very good chances. And I think that's a good sign of a team that defends well. And when they do get a good chance, having Hendo in goal goes the extra mile, doesn't it? So great performance.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, you're spot on. And a couple of people have said probably over at 2 games that Hendo's been a man of the player of the season so far. He's certainly been the most consistent. And you're right. I mean, I think the midfield battle was won by our guys, and I was really worried because they're 2 of the best midfielders, Souček and Rice, 2 of the best midfield pairing in the division, and our boys, considering that was their first game together, it just goes to show how much work must be going on behind the scenes, whether it's on the training field or whether it's on the tactics board. But they knew exactly where each other was. The link-up was fantastic. Even as they showed, they were so far apart, but they knew exactly where each other was. And the transition between the 2 was fantastic. So we all agreed.
Didn't they, Ed? They covered ground. Those big gaps, they closed it down really quickly. And I think that's why they knew they could leave those spaces, because of how quick and how mobile they are to cover that ground and close channels off.
Mm. And obviously it's way early to say, but a couple of commentators were talking about O'Brien for England, because obviously Southgate was there watching the game, wasn't he? He may have, it's way too early for that, but you never know. We could have a couple of players going to the World Cup that we wouldn't expect him. But yeah, let's not think too far ahead. But he did himself no harm at all. That was a really solid performance in the top flight. On the big screen, in front of everyone, and not a single player let themselves down. And
Lingard, I thought played all right. To say he's not fully match fit, you can tell he's not, but he still made some good passes, some good runs, even tried to track back, which is what you want to see. Is making the effort despite everything that comes with Lingard and all the hype and what everyone else is saying about him, slagging him off. He's proven he does want to be here, or he has it so far anyway.
Absolutely. Well, so after those, our first 2 results of the season so far, it leaves us in a really great position in the table so far. We're in 10th, which that's good enough. But then when you see the teams that are below us, someone jokingly said to me today, it's like as soon as Forest have come back into a league, Man U and Liverpool have something's happened to Man U and Liverpool. It's affected them negatively. But it'd be great if that was the reason, but I'm sure it's not. They've got their own problems that they need to deal with. But it's amazing because getting that, and Cooper mentioned it in his post-match interview, was getting the monkey off the back of that first win. And that was really important. And it does put us in such a strong position going into this game against the Everton side, who are pretty much on their knees at the moment. And I think there couldn't be a better time to play them. Joe, what are your thoughts on the game going ahead and with our positioning at the moment? Joe, are you muted yourself?
I'm on mute. I'm doing so much behind the scenes trying to look around, dig up data and typing and stuff. I've tried to hide all that audio. So yeah, I was on mute. I'll go back to what I was saying to myself. We'll talk about the game going forward the next couple of games in a bit. But I think overall league position at the moment, it almost seems like we've brought the way that the championship always played when we were there up with us, where any team looks like they can get a result against any team, which is ridiculous. The amount of times that we'd have watched the Premier League and it's like, yeah, the top 2, top 4, top 6, they'll always cruise games and they'll maybe have one upset here or there throughout the entire season. But now we're seeing Liverpool struggling to dominate games. We're seeing Man United getting absolutely blown away. And then we've seen the teams that have come up with us come and get a lot of good results with them as well. So it almost seems we've brought that mantra of any team can beat any team with us, which is, I guess, good in our sense, being one of the teams that's come up and is going to be someone who's constantly going to be looked down on. But it could lead into quite a turbulent league throughout the overall season. We're only 2 games in. There's a lot of speculation reading into not a lot there, but who knows what could happen this year.
Yeah, absolutely. Lee, what are your thoughts on our league positioning?
Yeah, I'm kind of the same. You've got to kind of take it with a pinch of salt, but it's nice to see it, isn't it? It's nice to see that we're not down that bottom, that we have got 3 points on the board, that you've got Man U below you. I mean, I wish we was playing Man U next week. I really do, because I think now's a good time to play them. But because I don't think they'll be there forever. They've got too much quality. I mean, their front line. They had Sancho, Ronaldo, and Rashford up front. Come on, they're not going to be there forever. But no, in terms of us, I reckon we'll finish mid-table. That's my prediction, about 13th, roughly, somewhere around there. I know that's just below mid-table, but I know you just enjoy where we are for now, and take each game at a time, because there's not going to be any easy games in this league. There's not. We're going to have to battle for every point, especially this first season, and it's just about staying up, isn't it? And I know Marinakis wants more, and that's fair play. We all want more, but I'd be happy with 17th. I've got to be honest, and I think most Forest fans would, just surviving and then building as we go, sort of over the seasons. So yeah, for me, there's no easy game. Even Bournemouth, even as much as we don't like them, even they're going to be tricky, and they've not really signed a great deal, but you know.
Yeah, there's certainly no easy game, and yeah, we've got to take it with a pinch of salt. But Max, do you think there's any psychological impact to being in this position early on, from a player's point of view, knowing that we're not chasing and they're ahead, which is the opposite of what we were doing last season? We were chasing the whole way through.
Yeah, and I think you made the point as of saying that it was like the monkey on our back of saying get those points on the board early, get some sort of league position and sort of moving up the table. And I think obviously you'd rather be in a position where you're not chasing, where you're just sort of keeping pace, sort of ticking your way up the league slowly through the season. But at the same time, the old adage that all the pundits say is you need 38 points will keep you in the Premier League, point a game, and 3 points on the board. It doesn't sound like a lot, but it's such a big part of that tally against the team who are a Europa League sort of Conference League level team, top half team, going to Everton next week. I think most of us backing our chances with the form we're in, sort of coming off last season into this season, that we could pick up at least a point, if not 3 points. I think psychologically the players, especially those who were with us last season, your McKennas, Worrells, Brennans, carrying that into this season and going into the Everton game, they've got to feel that they've got a really good chance of sort of heading into sort of the first international break in November, sort of in a really healthy position.
Mm-hmm. That's it, yeah. It's getting to that first international break, isn't it? And then reassessing, and that's exactly what he did last season, wasn't it? We had these little mini targets to aim for, and then looking at his analysis, Cooper's analysis of the season, and that's exactly what he said they did, and then they reassessed it and says, "Oh, well, can we push up a little bit further?" And it was great to hear it, because it's good to hear that, even though on camera and in interviews, he's saying, "Oh no, we're just waiting for you know behind the scenes. We are looking at the overall picture. We are looking at targets." And Cooper was so annoyed that we didn't get automatic promotion. I was really happy and surprised to hear it because he clearly that's what he was going for. Even though he's telling Colin Frey, you know, it's the next game and we don't look any further than the next game. We know now, but in the background, actually, he was looking at their position because there was that period where we were picking up points and not moving at all in the table. You know, we weren't moving up, weren't moving down, we were just stagnating. And he said exactly the same thing when that was happening. And that was really great to hear that what we're thinking, he's feeling as well, even though he's not obviously going to come out and say it. He's as human as we are, you know, so that's great to hear. But I think it'll be a similar thing this season in terms of like he'll set them targets, he'll set them mini milestones and then reassess hopefully after. And obviously, as us Forest fans all know, our first target is to get past that 11 points, you know, and that's our first target.
We can't fair everyone, though, Ez. We can't go into any single game, even Man City. I know it sounds silly, but we can't fair because that's when you defeat yourself. If we have the same attitude as when we played Arsenal, Liverpool, Leicester, we can pick up points. Yeah. You know, away from home, we have still got to pick up points. We need to make the City ground the fortress. Away from home, draws, the odd win. Yes, we're going to get defeats, but pick up as many as we can, and that we should stay in the league. No fear. That's how they've got to be.
Yeah, no, I totally agree.
Plays though, isn't it? He attacks rather than. I know what happened at Newcastle. I think that was a bit overwhelmed. The occasion, first game back, we didn't know as such what to expect. So, but as you see in the last game, we attacked and we went out and did it. And I think that home advantage does help a lot for us. So,
I think with the players as well, like, sorry to interrupt, but I think with the players as well, like consistently last season, as you mentioned earlier, like every game it felt like we were moving up a couple of positions from sort of like the beginning of the season when Cooper came in to obviously getting in the playoffs. Whereas there are going to be probably 2 or 3 to 4 or 5 week stretches of the season where we don't really move in the table. We just sort of sit in the same position, picking up points alongside all the other teams in our position. And it's going to be important that the boys sort of take that in and sort of appreciate that, like, okay, we're not moving anywhere, but we're not going backwards, and that's positive. And we're constantly moving forward as a team, even though the league position might not show it.
Absolutely. And that's a great point from Warren just there. Sorry, Joe, I've skipped past it. But basically saying, the average points to stay up in the last 8 seasons has dropped from 38 to 36, which in the context of it is just 11 more wins. Now, when you put it like that, it doesn't seem like much, does it? But he's right. You know, it has dropped. I think it's got more competitive. But then there's this season might be a little bit different. I just got a feeling this season is not going to be like any typical season, purely because of the way it's been structured, the earlier start, the World Cup in the middle of it. I think this is going to be. I don't think we can base this season on any other season prior to. I think this is going to be a whole unique season to itself. But I
think that breaks us a favour, though, Ez. You know, because I say the size of our squad. Yeah, we've got a lot of players, but when you consider the squads like Man City, Liverpool, having the 5 subs benefits them. So if up to that point where the World Cup comes along, if we've got injuries and stuff, it's only going to benefit us to rest the players and then come back again and go again. Having that break might actually do us a favour. Yeah,
I can't see it doing us too much harm, to be honest. I don't think we're going to lose too many players to the World Cup at the moment as it stands. Maybe just the Welsh contingent. But I don't think it's going to harm us, to be fair. Joe, do you want to? Is there anybody that you want to get on, or are we going to move on to the next topic? Is this anyone waiting?
Yeah, we've got someone in the backstage if they're ready to jump in. Do you want to give us a thumbs up when you're ready? Can you hear me? Yeah, there we go.
Damn, I missed it.
How you doing, James? You all right, mate?
Yeah, you're all right. Thanks for having me on.
No, you're more than welcome to jump on. How are you feeling today? Any different from when we last spoke to you? Are you still buzzing? Still on cloud 9?
Still on cloud 9, mate. Still on cloud 9. Still buzzing. Loving it.
Fantastic. Have you thought? Has anything changed in terms of your opinion of the game, and how do you feel about our 10th place position at the moment?
Nothing's changed. Everything from before is still the same. They're all brilliant players. They've all played very well at the week. Was it Sunday? Yeah, it was Sunday, wasn't it? They all played very well. If we go into if we play like that on when is the next game? Is it Sunday again?
Saturday.
Saturday.
Yeah, no, Saturday.
If we play like that again, then we've got potential of winning it. You know what I mean? We could win it. If we play like that again, we could win it.
You don't think Everton are enough of a challenge for us?
I mean, I don't know much about Everton myself. Just another strong side. I know that much. I think both sides. If anything, I'd be happy with a 1-1.
A 1-1, a draw. Yeah. Away from home, you would take that. Only for me is that they're for the taking as far as I'm concerned with their current form and just the way they haven't really. I mean, they've bought in a few players, so it's going to take them a little time as well to gel. We'll see. You know, it's going to be a competitive game anyway, and it might be the last time we get to play Matt Goodison one way or another. You know, so it'll be a historic game, I think, and looking forward to it. Lee, you're going to the game, aren't you, this weekend?
Yeah. The two things I'm thinking from what I've seen watching them against Villa and stuff, they haven't got a striker. Yes, they've still got pace in Gordon, and Chelsea want him, so that might even get done before the weekend. You never know, so he might not even be there. And what I saw was their sort of fullbacks look really slow. So I think that's down the channels is where we can take advantage of it. You know, with the Wanye and Lingard and Johnson's pace. You know, I think we could take advantage of that. Obviously, that midfielder they bought in, he looks pretty good. You know, but I think they are there for the taking. Just like I say, at least a point. I'd be disappointed if we didn't get a point. I know we're setting the standards quite high, aren't we? Just because we've had one win, but it's not a case that we're getting carried away. But you can just sort of see it, can't you? You see what you see on Sunday with our team. You see how they're playing. Yes, they're at home, but you feel like there's a chance, don't you?
Yeah.
If the progress continues from last week, it's something I said after the Newcastle defeat, but every time we lost a game last season under Cooper, we reacted. And I was expecting and hoping for a reaction on Sunday, and we got it. So let's hope that, you know, the progress that they've made in that 1 week, they can add to it. And that's what's hopeful about it. You know, Forest fans are fickle, and it can be fickle because it was like the end of the world after we lost that Newcastle game. And now we're on cloud nine. So we do go from one extreme to the other. But, you know, don't, like the old adage goes, don't get too down when it goes, you know, when you lose, but don't get too hyper when you win one. Try and keep them out ahead. But it is a different experience for everybody, you know. Lee and I are the only ones on here old enough to have seen us in the Premier League. But for you guys, it's all a new experience. So you're going to be more excited than you possibly would have normally been after a win. But we're winning against Premier League teams now, you know. If we win, it's against a Premier League team.
Weird
if we lose,
say, isn't it?
It is, isn't it?
It is in the mile. Wow.
I think it might take until the international break for us to get, you know, get a bit more level-headed about the whole situation. But it is exciting for all of us, and even for me and Lee. We've never seen it like
this. Optimistic though, Wes, is there? No reason whatsoever. There's no reason not to be optimistic. I wasn't bothered about that Newcastle game. I sat there with a smile on my face, and the reason being is because I saw fantastic football players, and we got beat by the better side. When you lose to the better side, you can take it on the chin. When the other side, as in Newcastle, they deserved it. We weren't great. We didn't show up. Let's be honest, we didn't. But Sunday, we rectified it. So when we lose to a class team, you can accept it, can't you? You know what I mean? You take it on the chin. And if you do lose, and we do take a few hammerings, we're losing to world-class footballers in a lot of cases. You know what I mean? It's not the championship of some scruffy. I know you get the odd scruffy goal, but you know what I mean? The championship, you lose to a team in there, and you're like, for God's sake, how have we lost that? We're there, at least you know why you're losing it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely agree. Max, I'm sure you're going to do a preview of the weekend's game, but is there any snippets you can share with us today? What are you thinking? Do you think there'll be any changes to the formation, to the system, any new players starting the game, or would you, this early on, I've asked you a few questions here, but would you start with the same starting lineup as of we did on Sunday?
I'd maybe look at getting Freuler in there. You know, no matter how we change the shape, I personally would like to see him in there, but I think it would work to our advantage. Everton are going to be a team that are defending quite a lot at the moment because they just don't have the quality in their side, so they're having to sort of sit deep and try and counter with what they've got up front. And having someone like Freuler in the midfield who is so much more different to an O'Brien or a Mangala because he can pick that pass, he can find the players in the box, he can find the players out wide. You know, he can find Nico outright for the cross or whatever. And other than him, we don't really have that on the side at the moment. I think that would be important. The only thing I've sort of noticed from Everton, they play three at the back at the moment under Lampard. Again, I think it's because of how they've not got the quality up front, so they have to sit quite deep and defend. Obviously, Cody coming in as well to sort of sit in the middle of there and sort of dictate it. I wouldn't be surprised if we went man for man up front, sort of went more to like a traditional front three, like maybe Lingard playing off the left, Brennan on the right, and Taiwo through the middle, and just sort of like when we press, because we look for those high turnovers, just like stick a man on each defender, because they're not all the like Cody's all right on the ball, but the other two aren't the best on the ball, and you can maybe hope that you could pick it off them and sort of.
So who would you take out then, Max, if you was going to put Freuler in?
That was going to be my question.
Yeah, that's the problem, isn't it? I think I'd take Mangala out because I think O'Brien was better on the day, but that's no like disrespect to Mangala. I thought he was amazing as well. No, or like Mark saying, going to four at the back. I think that's a perfectly reasonable thing to do, especially against a team that are going to be quite hard to break down. They're going to be very different to what we played so far, where they're more attacking. Everton very defensive at the moment. It's going to be a case of trying to sort of break through them, and it might involve going four at the back.
Yeah, and yeah, I mean, you Mark's actually put in what my solution would have been to that would be to go four at the back. You know, if Nia Carter has got a bit of a knock, you can afford to maybe give him a bit of an extra rest. And whether you stick with Worrell and McKenna, why wouldn't you? And you've got obviously got this legend Cookie at the back as well, who just slotted in so beautifully on Sunday. It was brilliant to know that if you've got trouble, you bring him in, and he just settled the whole back line. And it was I'm just going back on that. The substitutions were made at perfect times on Sunday, and I think he really made use of it because we kept that tempo up in that heat. To keep the tempo up we did on Sunday was remarkable, and that was helped by the substitutions happening at the right times. But yeah, I think to be able to get Freuler in, and I would, like yourself, I would love to see him in there. I think a formation change and dropping to four at the back may be the way forward. Joe, anything different that you want to add to that, or would you agree with what's been said so far?
I would probably not agree personally. I could see why it would work, and I could see a change of system would be useful. We did see it, a change system when we played Derby at home, and it didn't quite work that time, but we had the right personnel on the pitch to be able to quickly swap it back without having to make any subs. So as long as we've got that coverage of if it's not working, we can go back, then yeah, I'm all happy to try something different, especially against a team that's going to play completely different to the two teams we've played. I like to stick with the old adage of if it's not broke, don't fix it.
Yeah.
If you've got a team that's just played so well as a group of players where it was difficult for anybody to name a single man of the match, I think it's then very difficult, and it might a bit of a tricky precedent in the dressing room of I can play one of the best games I'll probably have this season and still not be good enough to guarantee my place next week. So not that I'm saying that would be the case, but I like to think if it's not broke, don't fix it. And if they are going to play defensive and try and sit back, would we benefit of just having three at the back and giving more leniency to our fullbacks to really spread out the game, pull their defence apart, and then try and get as many bodies through the middle as possible to try and just ticky-tack our way through. I think that'd be better than having a set back four where we're then trying to push everybody else forward and then just got one line.
The wing backs are a massive part of our attack, aren't they, Joe?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, that's what helps drive us forward. You saw it with Williams on Sunday. He was immense. He was forward more than he was back, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, his delivery from crosses and stuff was fantastic as well. His long balls, and he's clearly been learning from Trent, because that's the kind of balls Trent tries to play. You know, I'd like to see more of that from. And he was trying to pick out won you down the channels on so many occasions, which is the strength of Taiwo, you know. And yeah, I just hope we see more of that. The only reason I suggested it was purely because of a Niakate knock. You know, if it means, you know, it's not so much of a big change that you actually ended up giving him a rest and then you can change it. But we'll see. I mean, Cooper is full of surprises, and I wouldn't ever want to try and second guess his lineup, and you just never know. But there is that element of, if it's not broke, no need to fix it, you know. But yeah, James, do you think there's likely to be any change to the lineup on Saturday for the Everton game?
I'm always old school. I like to just like learn with what we've got and just keep pushing. I mean, maybe on second half, change a few around, obviously subs wise. But I'd personally, I know obviously you guys know more than me, but I'd personally, as I'm learning, I'd personally stick to what we've got and just progress that way. You know what I mean? That's what I'd do.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's a comment there,
isn't it? It's nice to have these options now that we can chop and change, you know, if we need to, you know.
We are playing very well, aren't we? That's what I'm saying. If we play like, if we play like that, what I did the other day, then we're going to go quite far. Yeah, again, like what you've previously said, we're going to lose games. Like we're going to lose again. Definitely going to lose against Man City. I'm going to hold my hands up to that. I'm ready to lose that one. But
you never know, mate.
You never know. Yeah, exactly.
You can't go into it thinking like that.
Yeah, it's a bonus, isn't it? If you get a point out of it, then you laugh, don't you? So,
like I said, we've just got to keep progressing, keep playing, do well, get points on the table. That's what we need to get up that table.
Well, just to try and answer Forrest Ant's question here, has there been an update on the Niakate injury that we're aware of? Have they said anything on how severe or? It looked. I mean, I agree with Cal. It looked like cramp because he did manage to a hamstring injury. He would have gone straight off. It did look like,
wasn't it? So
yeah, but yeah, it's probably just cautious. It did look like cramp. Maybe he isn't as bad as we thought it was, but I haven't seen any update on it. And, it doesn't sound like there has been so far. So hopefully it's no. So hopefully it isn't anything.
Yeah, I'd just say one thing we all need to remember is this is a great time for Cooper's magic sponge to come back out. It clearly worked wonders on the injury that we had going into the game. We were all saying, are we going to be able to start with our standard back three, or is McKenna actually out? And then team news comes out, yeah, he's absolutely fine.
Yeah, and there was nothing wrong. He was fully fit. One of his best performances. With his hands
mind games, isn't it? With Cooper, he plays mind games with the opposition. You know what I mean? When it comes to injuries, and stuff, they're going to be out. Then all of a sudden, they're in.
It's actually interesting seeing. I don't know if you guys have watched it, but Steve Hodge does a long interview with Robin Chipperfield on his channel, and he mentioned coming across Cooper when they were both youth team managers, and he said he had something about him. He had even that early on in his career, you know, he had some bites about him, and he wasn't quick to back down on anything, and he was arguing with him on the side of the pitch, and he thought, there's something about that guy. And then obviously a few years later, he's in the dugout for Nottingham Forest and working wonders for us. But it's interesting, definitely. Joe, I've got what's the next? Jump on to the next topic, my friend, and if you want to start us off, you can, friend.
There's a couple of people in the chat or mentioned some of the transfer news that's going around. It looks like the latest. If we can say what Brandon's on about here, looks like Awar. It looks like it's happening.
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, you tell us what you've seen on there. It looks very positive at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, I think it is going to be going ahead. I've not seen anything else that contradicts that other than one channel that said maybe he's trying to stall it out to see what's happening elsewhere. But I think that was just a one. I didn't see anybody else kind of post that. It was just kind of out of left field from a smaller newscast. Obviously, we have to still try and take it into perspective. It might well be true, but everywhere else seems to be quite positive that it's going ahead. It seemed like personal terms have been agreed now, so I guess we're just waiting to see Fabrizio Romano here would go, and then when he's going to be flying over for his medical.
That's it.
I did see there was. Sorry, I did see. I think it was the 27, the contract they offered him, I think it was a 5-year deal. That's what I've seen today.
27, yeah. It's been on Sky and stuff, hasn't it? I've seen them reporting on it today. So I hope it does come off. So given that then, Ez, I'll ask you, Ez, would you then take Garner back? I don't think we need him. And that's not being harsh. I like Garner. Given what we've now bought in midfield, I think we've moved past him a little bit.
Yeah, if we go for Garner now, considering what we've bought in and with Hassan Aouar hopefully on his way, signing him now would be a sentimental signing. I don't think it'll be a tactical one. And I know Cooper likes him, and I know he likes Cooper, and I know he loves our club as well. And if you'd asked me 2 weeks ago and the situation had arisen, I wouldn't hesitate. You know, I wouldn't go for the price tag that they put on him. But as one of our, I think it was Wolverine mentioned on this channel actually. But when they do put a price tag, and he's not wrong, when they do put a price tag on that, that's the maximum they're expecting. They're not going to get 14 million for him, not from us anyway. They'd be lucky if we get 8 to 10, 8 or 9 million, maybe, no more than that. Yeah, it would be. 2 weeks ago, I would have bitten their hands off, because we're trying to.
Interested, apparently, they said on Sky Sports today. They said we are and Southampton.
I heard Spurs as well, and I hope it's not Spurs because he's going to do what they're doing to Spence. Be sat on that bench, or not even sat on the bench. Won't even get in the squad, and that's the worst thing that can happen to him because
if it comes to us, how does he get in? Because don't forget, we've still got Yates to come back. We've got this new guy, who's probably more of a number 10. But look at all the players we've signed. The guy from Palace, and you got Maguire and O'Brien, who have just been fantastic last game. Where does he fit in? And then you've got Cafu and Colback. It's a nice problem to have, but you're going to start getting into the realms where some players are unhappy because they're not playing.
Yeah. Max, do you see him fitting into our squad if he's available and if we go for him?
I mean, the whole thing is obviously he was seen as at the beginning of the summer, the perfect, what if we could get him back on another loan deal or on a loan to buy or whatever. But at this stage, I think we're past him. I think his best work is off the ball and obviously from set pieces. When now we have Aouar can do defensive work, obviously Kiate can do all the midfielders we've got can do the defensive work. Freuler can do the set pieces. Nico can do the set pieces. We don't really need him, and I actually think at Southampton he might do all right because he's an aggressive player. I think he runs a lot. I think he would work in that Southampton system. And like we're saying, I think in a sentimental way, I want him to succeed wherever he's at. Whether that's United, obviously probably going to happen wherever that is. I want him to succeed. And Spurs would be the worst move. Probably Southampton probably the best move there for him. Agreed.
Yeah, I think if he can get into that, if it's not coming to us, Southampton would be a great team for him. I think working with Joe Aribo in the midfield, I think they'd work really well together. And you've already touched on it. But all the aspects that he had, we've got in other players now. And the other thing was this, defense splitting passes in, from midfield. You've got Remo Freuler to do that. That's one of his key strengths. Finding, getting passes through tight defenses and things like that. So. Yeah, you're right. We've got a player to cover every aspect that he did bring to our team. It'd be a real shame. But like I say, if it was 2 weeks ago, I wouldn't have hesitated to say yes. Looking at what we've got in already and who we got coming in, potentially, I don't think he'll work in our squad right now. But, it would be more a sentimental signing more than anything else. James, you got any opinions on Garner? Would you have him in, or do you think we're past him or beyond him?
I agree with you. Really, if I'm being honest with you, if I spoke about 2 weeks ago, then fair enough. But now we've got more quality and better players coming, better player in the same form as him. I think it's hard because he's a good lad, isn't he? He's been there for us. I've got to agree with you guys. I don't want to get shot.
You're first in line, mate, if anyone's getting shot. No, but I think we're all agreed about it's probably just beyond the remit for him to be bought in now, and it's a real shame because we've been.
I'm sure there's another club out there who would take him on and keep him, give him game time. You know what I mean? If he can't come in, then
how many central midfielders we got now? Because a few weeks ago, like you say, we hardly had any, did we? Now all of a sudden we've got a massive. How many we got?
definitely. I mean, that was a key thing. After that Barnsley pre-season game, that was the one major thing we came out of that saying, we've got no midfield, you know, and then 2-3 weeks on, we've seen a massive difference. And now maybe we've got a few too many, but we'll see. Because Cafu came on the weekend. He did his job. You know, he did what... and I hope he'll stay with the squad because he's as I mentioned before, he's become a bit of a iconic fans' favorite. You know, he's one of those players that will love no matter what. So yeah, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough for Yatesy to squeeze his way back to that team. But the competition's there. We haven't even spoke about Kouyaté yet, and the experience that he brings and the potential change of shape that he brings to the squad. But yeah, it's definitely exciting times, and there's lots of options. But I think Ghana will. I think we'll draw a line under Ghana. I think unfortunately we're not going to be the club for him. But yeah, like Max alluded to, I only want the best for him. I hope wherever he goes, he succeeds, and I'm sure he will. He's a good lad, and he's got the right ambition. You know, somebody can. Sure.
Get him out of Man U. Get him out of there.
Yeah, he looks very miserable, doesn't it? Every game you see,
very miserable.
He zooms a picture on and he's next to Ronaldo, and he looks really peed off, doesn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
Before we move on from Ghana, can I play devil's advocate and throw a cat amongst the pigeons? Yeah, I think we're all in agreement that if we sign Ghana now, he wouldn't make the starting lineup. He'd probably struggle to kind of compete with all these other signings that we've made. But if we were to look further down the line and think of his development that he could make, do you think he'd probably be a better future asset than a centre mid like Colback?
But he's not going to want to sit on the bench, is he? He's not. He's going to want the first team, isn't he?
Yeah, but I'm just playing devil's advocate, so it doesn't look like everyone all agreeing with each other. I would take him back. I think he knows the system. He knows how we want to play. He will always be yes, he won't want to come off the bench. He'll be an impact sub, and he'll be driving the other midfielders that we've got to keep on their game. I think, other than some of our other players that we've got, I don't think Colback's really going to be looking like he'd be getting back into the squad. We have a massive injury crisis in the midfield. So I think it would just be something where we try and drive our other players on. And he could be, in the future, someone that we would look back and say, yeah, we got him at the perfect time when not everybody else was trying to sign him, and look at what he's now done for us. So just to try and throw a different...
I think it'd be a Moneyball signing. Certainly be a player that you'd think would get better, and but he will have to get the time. So let's hypothetically, we'll just a quick one-word answer from everyone. If it was a choice between Colback or Ghana, who would you go for? I'll start off. I'll go with Ghana. If we had to choose between the two, Ghana, sorry, that's my choice. James, Colback or Ghana?
That's decent.
It's a quick fire.
Ghana.
Max?
Ghana.
Lee?
Based on his age, you've got to go Ghana, haven't you? And it's solely on that, because Colback was outstanding against Newcastle, I thought.
Yeah. That's pretty much the only point I'm trying to make. I think Colback, as much as we all love him and we think he's an absolutely brilliant midfielder.
Just look at the midfielders we've got. How many have we got? If you can, I'm sure you can name them all. We've got a massive pile of midfielders now from nowhere, haven't we?
Yeah.
And like you say, you've still got Cafu and Colback waiting in the wings. You've got Yates. You know, you've got all these other players that aren't even, vice captain. Is he going to get a sniff? You know what I mean? Yeah. And then Ghana's not going to want to come and sit there, is he? He's going to want to be playing. He's fed up as it is at Man United, and they've got no midfield. He doesn't get to play there. So, I don't know. I just can't see it.
Yeah, I can't see it. But if hypothetically, but then, I mean,
hypothetically.
At Man U, he's got no chance of getting a game. But he has got a chance of playing some part in the Forest team. And if he'd be happy with that, I wouldn't be opposed to having him in as a fullback long term, I think. But we'll draw a line under. I think, if it was I think there's a few saying Colback, mostly saying Ghana. But I think we'll say Ghana's probably our favourite for that one. Joe, any more points before we finish off today. It was really great having you guys all on, and it feels like we rush sometimes, but we'll definitely spend more time talking to you guys in the future, because it's just great to get you guys on today, especially Lee and Max, who we haven't had on. Lee's been absent for a little while, and I'm really glad to see you back on the streams.
Yeah, bit of time out.
Yeah, bring it back. It's always great to have you. And Max, definitely, mate, we got to get you on more live streams. I enjoy watching yours as well, whether it's Pokemon or football. I do like your like the content that you put. And sorry, now I'm going to make this point actually before I forget. I want to say on here as well. I need to claim some compensation off you, because you blew out one of my speakers the other day. Your baritone voice, mate. I didn't realize how loud the volume was, and it just clicked over to one of your videos, and you just did your intro, and it burst one of my speakers on my car stereo. I'm gonna have it saving up. It was very decent, mate.
But yeah, I've never heard that one before. I've been told I've got quite a flat voice, but I've never heard that one before.
That's you. Definitely happened, mate. I'm gonna claim some compensation off you. Whether it's blame as a blame.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you guys for everything. Joe, any final points that you want to make sure that we get in before we finish off the stream today?
I don't think so. I think we've all covered it. We're all obviously all really happy with where we are in the league and how the game went last weekend. I'm pretty sure we're all looking forward to this weekend. I'd probably say we'd all be in agreement we can get something out of that game, whether it's going to be the massive 3 points away from home, which we'll be lucky to get, I'd probably say anywhere, or if it's just snatching a draw and then running back home with that. I think we're all happy with that. Signings, I think there's a couple that we didn't really have a chance to cover today, like Mopay from Brighton, where there's a bit more news on that. I think I've not seen any others floating around. I might be mistaken. But no, I think that's pretty much it, unless anyone else has got any other points they want to quickly raise.
Guys, any points you want to raise before we go?
No, just thanks for having me on.
Yeah.
It's nice to be back.
Absolute
likewise.
pleasure. Absolute pleasure, guys. So I'm just going to give a shout out to some of the guys in the chat today. So the usuals, Forrest Ant, Mark Dennis, lovely to have you on. Paul Nunes, we've had Russell Eldridge, who's always commenting. Really, thank you for your engagement, my friend. Nick Hemphill, as I mentioned, Ant S. If I've missed anyone, Kelsey, Brandon Doan as well. Thank you for joining our stream, my friend. Zahir Husnu, as always. Eve's there as well in the chat. And if there's anybody I missed out, Warren, who please forgive me for that. But yeah, thank you so much for your engagement, guys. This is the only way this channel will grow. And please don't be shy, jump on with us. You see, we've got the friendliest stream on the tube, and everybody's welcome. Really great to have people on who are content creators or are just regular fans, and everybody's got the opportunity to come on here and give their opinions, and we'll listen to you and we'll give you the chance to get across. Hopefully we'll do a longer stream next time, and we're not going to be so pushed for time, but really great to get something out, and keep the engagement up. And myself and Joe really enjoy doing this, so as much support as you can give us, please like, comment, share and subscribe our channel, and please, in future, please get on with us as well. So thank you everybody on the panel today. Really appreciate your time. I know we're all busy, and so really appreciate every second you can spare for us. So, and hopefully we'll do this again soon. But thank you everybody watching, and we'll see you again soon, and we'll put out any notifications to let you know next time we're on. But yeah, click that notification button as well when you subscribe, so you can get that later. Thank you very much, everyone. Looking forward to Saturday. We'll hopefully do a preview show as well, and invite you guys on to give your opinions. But thank you, everyone. Thank you always, Joe, for everything that you do for this channel. And come on, you Reds!
Come on.
You Reds!
See you there, guys.